Hey everybody, welcome back to Jeff Bowles Central. I did kind of a vlog thing the other day where I talked about my schizoaffective disorder, which is basically schizophrenia with kind of an active component other than schizophrenia, some other kind of mental illness. In my case, it's the bipolar type. But I didn't really go into detail about my actual experience with it. I urge people who are suffering from it or who know people who are suffering from it to get help, which I think is really, 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 really important. Like, I hope that people actually do heed that if you're watching, if you're watching these videos at all. Um, so, my story is thus. I didn't start having symptoms with mine until I was about 32 years old, which is pretty old for this specific disorder. And it sort of coincided with I started getting into a lot of spirituality type stuff, just because I was like looking for something more in my life, I guess. So I turned to uh, not so much religion, but a little bit. I started researching a lot of stuff. I kind of turned on the New Age stuff, the New Age spiritual stuff that so many people consider just complete bunk. But I turned to it. I was interested in it. Um, and then, a few months later after that, I started having very strange experiences. And one of those strange experiences is that I started hearing voices in my head and also auditorially. I'm a writer. I should be able to say the right word auditorially. Basically, you can hear it in your head or you can hear it with your ears. Kind of the same thing, though one is considered more severe than the other. And the thing is that I didn't think that the voices I was hearing were just voices. I thought they were real people communicating with me, because part of this disorder, part of schizoaffective or schizophrenia in general, is delusional thinking, where you're not really sure what reality is and what reality isn't. You know what I mean? Um, and at some point, the voices started taking on people that I knew. One of them was a friend of mine. One of them was a teacher that I had in grad school. One of them was an author person who I knew on Facebook. Just kind of knew them on Facebook like another writer. Didn't really actually know them, but the voices took on those three characters, and I started to believe everything that they told me. And I'm doing much better now. This was a few years ago now. I'm feeling much, much better, but I'm still troubled by certain things. I'm still troubled by voices, for instance, though now I know what they are. They don't have any control over me, thank God. And that's an important thing. If you can establish for yourself a baseline of reality, or have people around you who can tell you, no, 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 this is not real, this is real, that helps enormously. Um, but the voices started telling me, the voice who was my friend, she's female, um, a woman, if you can't do the math on that. And so she, in my head, started telling me that we were meant to be together, that we were twin flames, which is a thing in the New Age spiritual community. You might have heard of it because it's kind of becoming an internet legend all on its own. Basically, it's soulmates, but it's like more special than that. It's like apparently there's like one oversoul that splits into two souls, whatever it is. The voice told me, she told me that that's what we were. And so I started to have a lot of dysfunction with my family, with my wife. As you can imagine, I'm married. And that caused a lot of problems because she didn't really know what was going on with me either. Nobody did. Because nobody really talks about this stuff. It's just not widely known. When we talk about schizophrenia in this society, in this culture, we talk about it in terms of the scary guy or the scary woman, the scary person, okay? Who's crazy and rabid and frothing at the mouth and thinks they're Jesus Christ and they're dangerous and they're going to get a gun and they're going to kill. Like, it's not like that. It's all here, you know? And certainly people with schizophrenia can act out, but by and large, we're not scary. Maybe at first it seems that way from an outside perspective, but in truth, it's not. Um, but you know, this caused a lot of problems with my wife, and we had a brief separation, and unfortunately, there was a car accident. I was behind the wheel, and I wasn't on medication. I wasn't in counseling. I wasn't doing anything. And again, we didn't really even know what was wrong with me until after all of this uh, occurred. Um, you know, I take my medication now, and I go to my counseling. I do what I'm supposed to do, and it's so helpful. So helpful. Again, if you are schizophrenic, or you know someone who is and they're struggling, or you're struggling, help is out there, and you should try to get some, because you don't have to do this alone. It's really hard to try to do alone, especially if you're like me, complete idiot, bought everything that these manifestations were telling me. Um, and you know, this friend of mine, I ended up calling her up and saying a bunch of really crazy stuff, and pretty much destroyed that friendship. Um, so there's a lot to lose, there's a lot at stake. In my case, people got hurt, physically hurt, emotionally hurt. It changed my life, and not always in great ways. I've only had the one episode. They call it a psychotic episode. And I hope to never have another one again, but I may. I don't know. I'm taking care of myself now, and I guess that's kind of the important part. But it's a very, very strange thing to go your whole life perceiving reality as one thing, and you find out at some point you can't trust that perception. It's a strange one, man, and you know, you see things that aren't there, you hear things that aren't there, you sometimes believe things that aren't true, you know, and it can cost you. So, uh, yeah, it can cost you, because I really regret not having this friend anymore, and the damage that it caused to my family, the damage that it caused to my extended family. Point is, kind of what I said in the last one, and I don't think I'll do this again because there's not much more to say other than you're not a bad person, okay? Schizophrenia, schizoaffective, any kind of mental disease or disorder, shouldn't really call it a disease. It can be helped, it can be improved. You aren't alone, you don't have to do this alone. and that's my message. So mostly on Jeff Bull Central we do entertainment stuff, but I thought I'd every once in a while get on here and just kind of shoot the shit, I guess. So Jeff Bull Central, like and subscribe. Music, movies, video games, very personal vlog entries apparently. Good night, everybody.